Like that. We are now talking about a ban on assault weapons, which is inches away from becoming law in Washington state.
So the ban passed both state chambers, the House and Senate. Our Brandon Thompson going beyond the headlines with what exactly the legislation would do.
Well, it has a list of over 60 guns that would be banned if this legislation does become law. Opponents critique that long list for being too vague, including some firearms they say can be used for hunting. Supporters say this legislation is needed as the number of children killed by guns have risen nearly every single year for the past decade.
They're targeting the law-abiding firearm owners to stop crime.
The majority of mass shooters purchased their firearms legally, so they were a lawful firearm owner until the moment they decided that they were going to use that weapon for murder.
Jane Milhons teaches firearm safety to women across Washington and is worried about their ability to defend themselves if this new bill becomes law.
They just want to be able to protect themselves with the firearm that works best for them.
People who already own guns and live in Washington state would be able to keep their guns. The bill would ban the sale, distribution, manufacture, and importation of those guns, even by people who bought them legally in other states.
So now they're going to be required to give them up because they're moving to Washington state. That makes absolutely no sense.
Allowing this exemption creates a loophole that actually undermines the intent of the bill, and that is that we're making a policy choice here that we don't want any new or additional assault weapons in our state.
The legislation passed 2 days after the Pew Research Center released new data showing there were more than 2,500 children killed by guns in 2021, the latest year the organization tracked. That marks a 50% increase from just 2 years before.
There are studies that show that banning assault weapons will indeed save lives.
What would you say to that argument?
Children are killed more by suicide, from bullying, and things like that.
The bill is likely to become law. Governor Jay Inslee called for this legislation, and both chambers have passed it. It's currently in the House to clear up amendments like exceptions for military or former military members. So this is one of several gun bills being heard in Olympia. There are several in Salem here in Oregon as well. Washington lawmakers are also considering a 10-day waiting period as well as safety training requirements before someone can take a possession of a gun, whether that's by purchase or a gift. Now, we've seen Measure 114, that gun restriction bill that Oregon voters passed last fall, be tied up in lawsuits. Lawmakers in Washington are studying those bills and are hopeful that they wrote this in a way that would avoid those legal challenges or at least survive them.
And that's interesting that you pointed that out, having seen what happened here in Oregon, that they're trying to shape it in that way. And we'll see if that pans out similarly or not in terms of going through the court system.
Constitutional question.
Brandon, thank you.